Okay, so here's a quick video of a jukebox that, well, this one's been sold, and I'm really making this video, well, just because it's been in the shop for so long. I've had so many people asking about this thing, and it's going to be gone soon, so I figured now's the time to kind of just throw it up there and, well, just use it in some sort of video form. I mean, I've alluded to it in other videos. I've put it in the back of, I've had advertisements where it's been featured, and inevitably I've had tons of people ask questions, so here it is. I'm going to get into this one. So this is what's called a Wurlitzer OMT. OMT stands for One More Time. And the reason that they called it a One More Time was because it's a copy of a Wurlitzer 1015. And the Wurlitzer 1015 was made by the American Wurlitzer Company in 1946, right after the war. And I guess they must have produced, well, they produced tons of them. It sold extremely well. I'm not sure how many years that they were making it for. It seems to me that it was more than 1 or 2 years. A lot of these jukeboxes back in the day, I think it was like a 1-year run, but this one, I believe they produced for more than 1 year. Anyway, what's important is that they made a ton of them, and they were awesome, and they really went all out, being that the war was over. They gave it these bubble tubes, they gave it these color-changing palisters, it had chrome, in North America, the war was over, and it was like just a big free-for-all hurrah. So these things sold like hotcakes, and they were everywhere, and it really was quite a phenomenon. And so the result was that this kind of became the de facto jukebox. This is, if you go up to someone and say, "Hey, draw a jukebox for me," they're going to draw a Wurlitzer 1015. Wurlitzer, I guess, well, when they were done their run, that was it, but it kind of remained, that iconic thing. They kind of made something that looked like this again in 1973, I believe. So in 73, Wurlitzer released a 1050. And the 1050 was kind of designed to kind of be, it's like a cheesy 70s version of one of these. Anyway, if you look it up, you'll see what I mean. I think the 1050 was used in, if you're ever watching the movie Top Gun, at the end when he goes into the bar and he puts a quarter into a jukebox, and I forget the song that plays. Anyway, that's a 1050. So that was Wurlitzer of North America, kind of taking a shot at it. Wurlitzer of North America unfortunately went under, I think right after they produced that jukebox. I think 74 was their last year. And then all that was left after that was Wurlitzer of Germany. So then in the 80s, Wurlitzer in Germany thought, well, this iconic thing, let's capitalize on this. It was sort of, the 50s were back in, not that this was from the 50s, but there was a bit of a 50s sort of revival. You had Happy Days and all these sorts of things. So they started producing these things, and they sold well. If you ordered one of these, it would come from Germany. If I open this thing up, everything in there is in German. And they sold well. There's a lot of these out there. And also, I mean, there wasn't just, as well as these were doing, there were other companies as well that were making jukeboxes. The big players in the game, Rowe had their version, and Rockola had their version. I think everybody at one time kind of built one of these. So actually, a Rockola, you can still buy a Rockola. I don't know if it's called Rockola or Antique Apparatus. There was some merger that happened there. I'm not sure. But you can still order this style of jukebox from them, and you can get it now. I think, it looks a little different. They've changed some things, but you get the bubble tubes and all that. And now they have, like, Bluetooth, and they play MP3s, and, they have touch screens. They're pretty cool. This Wurlitzer OMT is the closest that you're going to get in terms of just being true to the original. Oh, hold on. Jeez. Cool it, little buddy. God. Yeah. So the... Shush! I'm trying to make a video. Yeah, so, and what I mean by that being that it's so close to the original is, this, the original Wurlitzer had this thing, the original Wurlitzer would have had the title, would have been, my god, buddy, just, anybody want to buy a cat? Shut up, leave me alone. Where was I with that? Yeah, so just, it's the closest in terms of originality. I've also got a row version of this, and the title pages are in here, and the buttons are in here, and they just changed up the way that it looked. So this, in terms of the dimensions and the it's the closest that you're going to get to a 1015. And you probably don't want to own a 1015. Well, maybe you do. I mean, if you've got lots of money and want a really fancy nightlight, an original 1015. I think it only holds something like 20 records, and it only holds 20 records, and they're 78s. So I guess you'd have to like Glenn Miller or whatever. I don't know. So this is a good option because you're getting, it's still old and cool, but you can play CDs. If you got the CD version, which is what this is, you can load it up with, God, I don't know, I think 50 CDs, and it's like 20 tracks per CD, so I don't know, I suck at math, but I mean, you can put a whole lot of music in one of these things. So basically that's it. I guess Nacho's telling me that it's time to wrap this up. I'll play a song. This is kind of a cool feature. The titles sort of move with that. Anyway. That's not why we're here. So let's do 1, 0, 2, 3. And you'll see the I don't know, the carousel. It looks like I don't know what that thing's called. Hubcap? It's probably not called a hubcap. Nice screeching sound there. Very endearing. Yep. Gonna miss this thing. Thankfully, it was sold to someone who I know quite well, and they live very close, and it's going in their sort of man cave bar area that they've created, so apparently I'm gonna have to go down there and have a couple of pints and watch this thing. So I'm glad they bought it because it's such a nice piece. I'm really gonna miss it. So there you go, guys. Wurlitzer OMT. And I know a lot of people were inquiring about this one. It is gone, but I will get more. So if you want one, leave a comment, or I'm going to post this on the Facebook page and on my YouTube page. So just keep an eye on things. As soon as I get more, I'll post them up. And I have a feeling they'll go quick, though. So anyway, there you go. Wurlitzer one more time.